Yo, what is going on, guys? No crazy production today. I just kind of want to give you guys an idea of what's going on here in the shop. It's getting kind of messy. I don't know if you can see behind me. I got parts all over the place. And I'm going to show you all this stuff. I just kind of wanted to let you guys know where I stand with Project 250R. We're still kind of playing that waiting game, and I've been doing a lot of research and whatnot. But everything's kind of coming together with ordering parts. And I spent over, it was over $5,000 in parts just last week, and in its entirety, I think we're getting close to like $8,000 in parts. Not in its entirety, actually, just like recently. The entire cost is getting close to like $12,000 now, and I do have a spreadsheet with all of my costs and breakdowns and whatnot. And when the project's over, I'm gonna show that. But I figured I'll show you what I have now, and just kind of like show you what parts I've been buying. Before I hop over the computer, you can see all these stock parts laying out on the bench. I've just been cleaning everything off. Not going like crazy on it. Most of this stuff is actually in pretty good shape, but I'm going to be selling off all this stuff. A good majority of this stuff over here is going to be for sale too. I just haven't gotten to clean it yet. Plastics are going to be for sale. Not everything though. I'm going to be selling the tires and stuff too. My dad built this shelf actually. Thanks, Pop. And got the Clem research on the board still. That's going to be for when it's class time. Got the frame sitting here. I want to tell you about the powder coat in a second. And then this side, got our MXR6 tires up top and whatnot. And the factory tires at the bottom. Like I said, the tires and wheels will be for sale too. A couple people have been asking me about that. So the frame is still not powder coated. We don't have the tabs on yet. I do need to weld those on. And I just picked up this Lincoln Electric welder. This is a pretty decent welder. I picked it up on Facebook Marketplace. Fairly inexpensive, and I got the gas canister and everything. I just need to clean it up, make sure it works. Got a nice ground for it and a regulator. I figured I would just invest in that welder because now I don't have to go to my buddy's shop to do any welding or anything. I'm definitely going to use that in the future. And so in my last video, how I addressed like the skid plate thing, and a bunch of people sent me links to poly skid plates and aluminum skid plates that don't require those tabs. So technically I wouldn't really have to weld those tabs on if I don't want to, but I'm going to be using DRW Performance. DRW's hooked me up in the past, and I really like their products. So I'm going to run DRW skid plate, and they do require those tabs. So it's easy enough to weld them on, but just to answer questions and stuff, that's why we're welding those tabs back on. And one last thing before we hop to the computer, I figure I'll give you guys a little bit of eye candy. This is the Hauser -1 swing arm. It has a really nice powder coat job on it. Too bad we're not doing purple. It actually looks pretty sharp. It just would not go with the color scheme at all. And you can see right here, it's got a PRP bearing carrier. I'll be able to polish that up. And I'll check the bearings. Unless they're like super tight, I'm putting new ones in there. They are dual row. I don't know if you guys can see in there. But that's a good bearing carrier. It's a little chewed up on this side. And we'll see if we can smooth that out and make that look nice. But this should work really nice. Once again, that's the -1 swing arm, which is really good for motocross, especially in the 86 to 87 when the swing arm was a little bit longer. So I'm really excited to run this. And before I even get started with the computer, I wanted to show you guys this new setup I have. This was kind of a weird week doing like setup stuff, but getting the welder and a couple other things I had to take care of. And this is kind of like my area. This is where I film the quad of the week. So this way I'll have like a professional setup. And you'll see in a second, I'm going to film here when I go over the parts, but I just want to show you guys, it's actually a relatively cheap setup. The microphone with the arm and everything was like 50 bucks. And then that light over there, I think that was 60 bucks. But it's going to pay off in the long run. So let's check it out. I'll show you what it looks and sounds like. All right, guys, so this is the setup. This is the setup. How does it sound? How do I sound? All right, so I'm just going to kind of hop into it here. We're on the laptop here, and I'm going to show you the spreadsheet. I like to try to keep track of everything, and you can see the price is getting out of control here. But if you guys have ever built a quad before, like really built a quad, it's always this expensive. These parts are just so expensive. So I have my whole list over here. We have the item, brand, and the cost. Now, I try to keep everything as accurate as possible. So like in any case that it applies, I included sales tax. In some cases, I got away without sales tax, depending on which website I ordered it from. But even eBay now charges sales tax and Amazon. So most of these prices already have sales tax factored into them. So you might look at these and say like, oh, you're overpaying or whatever. And they don't always reflect the price that I paid to. Keep in mind, I do work with a couple companies, but if you were building a quad, this is legitimately what it would cost if you were going to pay like regular prices for it. But like right off the bat, you can see this one, I know, like the IMS Roll Design A-arms, they retail for $14.95, but with tax, it's $15.84.70. So that's why I have it in there. So I just wanted to make a little disclaimer before I start. And some of this stuff I've already gone over in some of my other videos, but to this point, this is all of the money that I have into this quad, this build, and it's not all the parts yet. So we have the gusset kit is $88. Sandblasting the frame was $100. The MXR 6 tires was $301. Oh, and it also includes shipping, all of these prices. The rear wheels were $465.90, front wheels $155.90, chain was $55.95, sprockets $36.90, cables $7.95, grips $24.95, the axles $400, quick change clutch cover $455, -1 swing arm, that purple one I just showed you. Hauser doesn't make them anymore, but I think they did retail for around $800 to $900, so I put $800 in there. The plastics were $560. Front bumper is $230, believe it or not. A-arms $1584. The Fox Float RC2 shocks are $1,325. The Stage 4 rear Elka is $1,122. F3 shorty levers, ASVs, they're $143. Extended steering stem, $317. That's a Roll Design. It's one of the more expensive ones. Pro Design kill switch, because you're going to need that on some motocross tracks, $31.79. Elite steering stabilizer, $635.99. Fat bar risers, $243.79. And the radiator and hoses by GPI is $95.40. And like I said, this is not everything. This doesn't include any motor stuff, no exhaust, nothing on here. This is all like body and suspension. And you guys can see here, I picked premium stuff. I'm not cheaping out on this one, guys. I want to build something badass for you. So I have Fox Float suspension, not cheap. The IMS Roll Design A-arms, not cheap at all. IMS Roll Design steering stem, the Duncan bumper. It's all expensive stuff. I got new plastics. Some of you guys were telling me to go full bore. I have nothing against full bore plastics. The big thing for this build was the color of the plastics. And I really wanted that sand color plastics. Now I've done some research. Apparently Mayer has come a really long way with their quality. Personally, I always thought they made decent plastics, but in the recent history here, I guess, they really improved their plastics. And the plastics that I bought for the Banshee they were pretty nice. I don't really think there's anything wrong with them. I'm familiar with full bore. I've had my hands on them before. I think they're very similar in quality. So we're gonna see. We are gonna go with Mayer. But that was the main reason, is because of the color. Also, you can see on here the rear shock. It's an Elka, and it's a Stage 4, $1,122. It's pretty crazy. Going from Stage 3 to Stage 4 is like a $500 difference. I think it's $625 or $640 for the Stage 3, and then when you step it up to the Stage 4, it's $1,060 is retail, and then when you go to Stage 5, it's like $1,350, I think. So apparently from Stage 3 to Stage 4, there's a lot of difference. So that's why I went with the Stage 4. It's not quite as expensive as the Stage 5, but it's supposed to have all like ultimate performance. Now I have been doing some other work as I'm waiting for these parts to come in and stuff. I'll show you before I get into the motor parts, because I'm going to tell you about the motor setup. I've been working on the graphics kit. So this is 100% designed by me. You can order templates like this, where it's just the outline of the what a normal graphics kit would look like. You can see like the back fenders here too, and a hood if you were going to run it. I haven't gotten that far yet. But yeah, so I ordered one of these templates and I've been working on the design. The motor is going to be exactly 309 cc's in displacement. So I'm going to be calling it the M309R. The M kind of goes with, like, you know, my name and all, but really the whole idea of this build, it's supposed to be a military build, and I think having the M in front of it kind of coincidentally goes with the theme, and I really think that's cool. A lot of people put 310. So to try to be a little bit different, that's why I'm doing the exact displacement. So it's going to be called the M309R Patriot. You can see I got my logo on the side here. It looked really cool without the desert camo and just like the flag graphic. That actually looked really badass. But I really like that camo graphic too. So I tried to combine them both. And you can see I have these cutouts. and you can see the flag in the background. And if you zoom in here, I like to give credit to everybody that's helped me out. So I have DBC Racing on there, NPM, Precision, ESR, Forworks, SV Innovations, DRW. It should be pretty badass when it's done. Forworks is actually designing the seat for me right now. I'm going to throw you up a picture right here of what they're rendering. I don't know if it's going to look exactly like that. We haven't exactly come to a 100% agreement of the design just yet, but it's most likely going to look something like this. And I'll go ahead and show you the other side. This is what I got here. So it looks a little bit different. The logo and the M309 are angled a little bit differently, but those two sides should match really nicely. And then I'll get to working on the back fenders, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys what I've been working on. And in case you're not familiar with the theme of the bike, this is my original rendering of my color scheme. So I think those plastics or those graphics are going to go really well on here. I sort of mocked up like half-ass graphics on there, but I do have that desert camo, and I think with the flag and everything and that little bit of touch of red, white, blue, I think is going to really kick this thing off and make it look really sharp, but still have that stealthy like military camo look too. All right, so let's get into the motor setup here. So we're on ESR.com, Eddie Sanders Racing. It's been a little bit of a struggle kind of trying to work this out, and a lot of it has to do with this new CEO cylinder. So if you guys are familiar, I'm going to pull it up here. ESR has these new CEO cylinders, and you guys are going to have to forgive me. I'm actually not exactly sure what the CEO acronym stands for, but this is a new type of cylinder that ESR came out with, and it's supposed to be revolutionary performance. The piston is actually shaped like a dish. Instead of the piston, you know, being like a dome, it's like a dish, and the head is the same way, that it's going to have, the head actually comes down as opposed to a normal dome that's like a rounded ceiling sort of. It's totally different. It's something that I'm not really familiar with at all. I talked to Eddie about it. He said the performance is absolutely outstanding. It broadens the power band. You get more reliability. And so that's what we're going to be running. It's going to be 310 CEO power valve cylinder. You can see it here. I don't know if you guys can see in this picture, but the piston, it does cave in. It's really kind of hard to see. I'll be showing you guys when I get these parts in, but you can see this stuff, man. Oh, here's a better picture. You can see there, it's like a dish. I personally, I'm not familiar with this technology at all. Supposedly it's pretty new. So I'm going to learn more about that and relay it to you, but that's what I'm going to be running. And as far as porting and everything, I'm going with ESR. A lot of people are against that. I know it's really popular that people buy ESR cylinders and then they'll send them out to, you know, LED or you know, another builder where they'll get their own porting. And that's a really popular thing to do, and some people were bashing ESR for their porting and whatnot. So I talked to Eddie personally on the phone, and I'm pretty confident that he's going to do a good job with the porting on this cylinder. And a big thing that he was saying is that if I'm gonna have him port it, he wants me to run his pipe, and he ports all the porting and everything is specific to the pipe, because I wanted to run an LED pipe. And I said, Eddie, you know, I like your exhaust and everything, but I'd really like to run an LED. And he said that was fine. And for those of you guys that are familiar, LED and ESR do kind of go, they do some collaborations where LED will build and port a cylinder and an exhaust and everything, and he'll use the ESR cylinders. But I was just going to have ESR do the porting and then order an exhaust through LED. And Eddie told me if I was going to have any kind of port work done, I should go with the company that's doing the exhaust as well. So if I was going to get the LED pipe, to have Arlen do the porting, but I am going to go with ESR for the porting. So what I'm going to be doing is running his exhaust, all his parts and everything. I know some of you guys might not be happy with that decision, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to listen to him. He's got way more experience than, you know, probably all of us in building motors and stuff. So I'm going to listen to him, and we'll run this thing, and I think it's going to be really awesome. I will show you one more thing here. It's basically what I'm going to be getting. Hang on. Right here, he has these two kits, the 310 kit 3 and the kit 9. So the kit 9 is essentially the one that I would want to get, only I'm going to get the CEO cylinder with it. So this is their regular cylinder you can get with the power valve and whatnot. Nothing wrong with that cylinder either, but I really want to try that new CEO technology. So he's putting something together for me as we speak, and that's what I'm going to be running, guys. So I'm pretty excited for this shit. I cannot wait for that motor parts to come in. Right now, I just gotta kind of sit tight. That's what's been going on. Like I said, it's been a little bit of a weird week, and I don't know how long it's going to take until these parts come in. Like the suspension and stuff has to be built. So I don't know. It could be 2-3 weeks till the parts come in. So in the meantime, I will be doing those graphics. Hopefully, some stuff will come in that I can get some content out for you guys. But there's going to be a ton of stuff coming soon. As soon as these parts start coming in, man, I cannot wait to get this stuff together. I still have to weld those tabs on the frame. And something that I meant to mention in the last video, the reason that nothing has been powder coated just yet is because my local company that does powder coating, they're moving buildings. They were in the process of that. They may be done now. They were saying sometime in the early new year, their building would be set up and I'd be able to bring stuff over for powder coating. So I'm going to reach out to them, see if everything's rolling over there yet. And we'll be bringing all our parts over. And yeah, man, stuff's going to start coming together. So I appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, this wasn't like a big production video or whatever. Let me know what you guys think of this part selection and my graphics design and stuff. I'm curious to see what you guys think of that. And I will see you guys in the next video. It shouldn't be too long. Don't forget, guys, Monday is quad of the week. I've been getting all of your submissions. You guys are sending some awesome quads. If I didn't pick you guys, doesn't mean I didn't love your quad. It's just the competition is fierce, man. There's a lot of people sending in some awesome stuff. So definitely look forward to that on Monday. I love all you guys. Have a great weekend. Peace out.